Good morning, Hoosier fans, and welcome to this victorious edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Iowa. Last night, the Hoosiers go on to win against Iowa, 89-77, improving the season to 16-8, 6-7 in the Big Ten. It would be great to get that one closer to 500 in the Big Ten. Fantastic, great togetherness, great energy, good effort by the team tonight. Still had our lapses, still had a few difficult points, but overall an exciting one to see, a good one to see. Happy to see the Hoosiers do what they can do, complete a game, play within themselves, play together, play as a team. Something that was fantastic to see. Game started off pretty well. Hoosiers coming out and sharing the ball relatively well with each other, getting the ball underneath. Then, as it has displayed many times this year, the change to having Devontae be someone that comes off the bench in this game proves to be what I think really set the tone and helped this win happen. Devontae comes off the bench and immediately does what he does when his brother is within his presence. If you go back and look at other games where Danny has come to visit, Devontae just lights it up, hits from distance, looks beautiful from his shot, is confident. Gets a little nerve-wracking, I know, as an IU fan when you see him start to shoot for those, because we know that sometimes when he feels it and it's good, it can be fantastic and it can do what it did last night for us. But when he can't feel it and he starts forcing it, then that's trouble. I'll get more in depth, I think, about Devontae a little bit later. But IU did a good job in the first half of coming together, fighting for balls. Saw guys get on the floor whenever loose balls were happening. Just good inside-out play. We had a few times where we had our stagnant offense and we were getting away from scoring and having trouble getting it in, but we always kept Iowa just out of it. They never, I think, once we took the lead, they never brought it within single digits after we extended it to double digits. They got close a few times, but I believe they never got within double digits. A lot of good hustle, good moments in the past where we've had trouble. Once they started to get it close, they'd get it to 10 or so. It would look a little nerve-wracking, and then we'd score that basket to keep us ahead and stretch us out again. You haven't seen that in past games. When we are on the flip side of that, when we've gotten things close, and then we're at a pivotal moment, and we need to continue, and we haven't found that shot, and the teams have stretched out on us. That's what's happened in a lot of these losses, including the Purdue game, obviously, where we got down and got it as close as 6, but then couldn't quite finish it out there. Second half came out pretty well, played a decent game. If you actually look at the numbers, they beat us by 3 in the second half. So there was where that trouble was. I think our defense became a little bit more lax. They were able to find some things. They were scrapping, definitely. As a Fran McAfee team normally does. A few little dirty moments, I'm going to say. A lot of guys putting elbows out around screens. So much flopping. At the beginning of the season, we saw refs kind of call an emphasis on calling those warning flops. And this game, we definitely did not see those being called at all. There was plenty of chances for that to be, including the crazy Justin Smith play where I guess you could see a little bit where there was contact with Justin Smith, but the only reason there was contact was Justin got pinned up against Luka Garza, and then his man turned and ran into Garza. So that was a little frustrating. I was going to be really mad if they came back with a flagrant on that one. But again, guys stepped up, finished it off. Pretty good game overall. I think before I get into our players, Luka Garza, just an amazing player. He is amazing to watch. It's good that he is a senior. This is the only time we have to deal with him again, unless we see him in the tournament, Big Ten tournament or NCAA tournament. Just a great player. I mean, plays inside strong, able to put it up over our guys, shoots the mid-range, shoots the shoots the three well. I mean, just an amazing player. 3 for 6 from 3, 7 for 8 free field goals, or free throws, excuse me, and scored 38 points. IU had a decent game plan, I believe, trying to play him tough, double and dig down on him when we could. Those digs, especially by Rob, I think really disrupted him. And I think that's what caused a few of his fouls. He had 3 turnovers, not fouls, travels. 2 of those turnovers were from travels from guys digging down, causing him, disrupting his tempo in the block, and were able to get him to take that little extra step, cause him to get that turnover, which was great to see. It was a good game plan on him in that sense. Because he is a good player. He would see another person to outlet to, but he played 40 minutes. He played damn near the whole game. He was tired at the end, but he fought through. So much respect to that guy. Much respect to him as a player. Wieskamp obviously is the other guy that's very good on their team. Justin Smith did a fantastic job shutting him down, staying with him, frustrating him. Great to see that. Justin obviously didn't light up the stat sheet from that kind of point. He had 6 points. He had 7 rebounds. He was in there active on the board. That was good to see again. I've kind of criticized him in past episodes, talking about how we've been running back on defense. We haven't been going for those offensive boards. We haven't been looking like we've been fighting for rebounds. And I believe Coach made that an emphasis in practice and game plan that, because guys stayed with it and we rebounded a lot more than we had in the previous games. Justin, again, 1 for 5. I missed a few bunnies, 4 for 6 from free throw. So he did a good job on those free throws, a lot better than he averages in the year. But 4 offensive rebounds, 3 defensive rebounds. That was very good for him to be in there. 1 assist, 1 turnover. No blocks or steals. I guess I understand that. You'd want a little bit more from him, but such an athletic guy as far as blocks and steals. But he's playing against one of their better teams, their second scorer. So he's busy just staying tight on him and shutting him down, and he did a great job with that. His counterpart then, Jerome Hunter, played 8 minutes. Did a decent job once he got in there. I do like a lineup when it's him, Justin Smith, Trace Jackson Davis, and then 2 guards. But I think we need a Justin in there against Wieskamp. I'm saying it wrong. Sorry if he listens to this. I doubt he will, so he can't get offended. But Jerome Hunter, I think, had an okay game. Just made 1 field goal and 1 3-pointer. Needs to watch it. That technical foul. Well, I agreed. It could have been a double technical. Refs could have been on that a little bit more, seeing that their guy was hounding him down, talking on him. Actually, 2 of their guys, I believe. Just don't put your hand up. Keep your hands down. Turn around, let them know. But keep your hands down. And also, Jerome, you're good. You're gonna be fantastic for this team. Let your play show that. Although maybe I'm wrong to say that, as I've been the one on here that has wanted a Bulldog player and an emotion and everything like that. So maybe I take that back. It's good to see that emotion, because definitely Jerome Hunter is our most emotional player, but he just needs to know to slow it down, when to bring it out, when to relax. So I don't think we saw him at all in the second half. Maybe because of that. Maybe also just because we needed to keep Justin in there as much as we could to stop their player. But yeah, a good team effort overall. Team played well together. They looked engaged more than they have been as of recent. And it's games like this that remind you what this team is capable of. and what the simplistic thing of just the ball getting in the hoop for this team does for confidence and effort for them. If you look back, Maryland is the outlying game, but every other game that we have lost, we have only scored, I think we've scored below 68 points, definitely below 70 points. The defense does well, but we still need to make offense and get in this. And if we can just get those shots to knock down, we can have great success. We can steal more of these games that are coming up. This Michigan game coming up, we could get this game. If we continue this type of effort and fight for this like we did, then it can be a very good game and a great outcome for us come Sunday. Talking about more guys, Rob Fennessy, there's something just a click off about Rob. He had, again, decent numbers, 12 points, 2 for 3 from 3, made both of his free throws, 4 for 9, had 5 assists to 5 turnovers. So that's where there was something off. The 5 turnovers, something's just not all the time, but there's a rhythm that's gone. He doesn't feel 100% locked into what he can be. I can't place it. I can't figure out what it is exactly. If it's the health, who knows? But at least some decent minutes, some good to show. I think where I struggle to see from him is what he showed us last year in glimpses was a guy that could get to the rim. If we needed him, he was great at finding those little lanes and cutting to the basket. And he struggled with that this year. I don't know if, again, he's slightly hurt, and that's why when he gets there, he's afraid of the contact. Again, speculation, 100%. But there's something slightly off with his aggressiveness to get to the basket. And when he finds something like that, and when he can do things like that, then he's fantastic at dishing to Trace, dishing to the big guy. When he gets in there and the shot's not there for him, he's able to find the guys that can get the basket. But 3 steals. Again, defensively, he was great. He was locked in. He did a good job. Just offensively, there's something off there. Al Durham, 29 minutes. I think he in the first half and a little bit towards the end of the game he's our aggressive guy. He's our guy that will get to the basket. He will drive. He will try to get there. And we need to have that aggressiveness, especially in a game like this where we were able to get personal fouls called. We were able to get to the line a lot closer to what we have been throughout the year. And that is from playing aggressive, getting to the basket like Al was able to do for us last night, I should say. The Joey Brunk, just not a game for him. There's games that are going to be good for him that we're going to be able to put him in, and he's going to be able to play and bang and be that tough guy that we need underneath. Luka Garza is just not a good matchup for him. It's a little too fast for him, and being able to hit those outside shots and do what he does, it's not the game for him. Shake it off, Joey. Don't let it affect you. Move on to the next game. Who it is for then, and the lineup that we love to see, it's definitely for Race Thompson. Race played a fantastic game. I think the most minutes he's had this year, 24, 4 for 6 from the field, 2 for 5. Only had 4 defensive rebounds. I felt like he had the eye test. Makes me feel like he had a lot more rebounds than that. 2 personal fouls, so he was able to contain himself within that. 2 blocks and 4 steals. That right there is where it shows up of what his contribution can be and how good he can be, especially playing opposite a Trace Jackson-Davis in a game like this that's very fast. He is just, his awareness when he's on defense, He does a good job of switching off. He did a good job against Garza when he had to switch off to him, not fouling him, staying tough against him. And he's that scrapper again. He's Zach McRoberts on steroids with the sense of how big he is and how physical he can be. He does those little extra plays that you like to see. It was good to see him get 10 points though too, and be able to contribute on the offensive side and not just be that defensive guy, that hustle guy in this game. Deron Davis as well, 10 minutes with 5 points, and in those limited minutes, he took advantage of those well. Played again for a big guy, played very well against Garza, a very mobile big guy. So very happy with the minutes that he gave us. Franklin only got 2 minutes. I think he seemed a little bit more lost in this game. Coach obviously tested the waters with him. And when Devontae was playing as he was, that's why you only saw Armand play as many minutes as he did, because Devontae had to be in there. And speaking more of Devontae's game, I mean, I loved the analogy that the sportscaster gave, that Devontae is that power plant. He's a nuclear power plant. When he's good, he's great and can power a lot of things, powers this team. When he's bad, he melts down and he's Chernobyl. That's a pretty good way to put it, and definitely shows the conundrum that Archie Miller has had to deal with this team, and struggling with Devontae, because there's been a lot of criticism with Devontae going into this game from the Purdue game, and it's good that he doesn't let it affect him, that coach doesn't listen to it as well. He shows in this game that you have to have that. You have to give him that chance. You have to put him in and see what he can do. Give him the opportunity to produce and do things for you, because if things like this happen, then you win the game and you have a good game, and it energizes everyone else. If you put him in and he doesn't do well, then yeah, you have to kind of take him out and be sparse with his minutes. But this is the reason he doesn't sit the bench overall. Why you don't just try to put him in there and make him try to teach him a lesson in that. You need to have a Devontae heat check as a coach. Put him in there, see what he can do. So I mean, Devontae, good also to see him limited as he was in the second half. He didn't, as hot as he was restrained with his game. He wasn't overly shooting it because he wasn't doing things that were out of the ordinary. His passes were good. Only complaint I'd have in that was those alley-oops. 3 very bad alley-oops. I don't think they were all from him. But yeah, those alley-oops were tough. And sportscaster, again, I don't really forget his name, but criticizes the alley-oops, doesn't like the alley-oops. I don't necessarily mind them as much. It's something that if a team can hit those, if those go down, it's such an energy boost, and especially in Assembly Hall, that place goes wild, and the jolt of energy that gives, and what it does to opposing teams is worth the risk in most regards. Obviously, if you're in a game where you're down and you're trying to come back, or it's very, very close game, you maybe don't want to take that risk unless it's a sure thing alley-oop. These weren't sure thing alley-oops. These were very tough ones, and a very scary one indeed, because you put it close up there, Trace Jackson-Davis is going to try to get it. And that one that he threw up there, Trace went after it and landed very awkward and almost going into the second row, it felt like. So that was a little scary and made me nervous. But yeah, I don't have too much problem with them. You just got to make sure that they're a sure thing. And if not, you got to make sure we're ahead big time. And during most of those, yes, we were. but you got to watch out. Trace Jackson Davis, I believe, is the only guy I haven't talked about again. He continues to produce for IU and be that production guy and a relatively consistent scorer for us. 34 minutes, 50% from field goals, 5 for 6 on his free throws, and 10 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds. That was what was really good. He was in there staying active, and that speaks to as well of what I've called out on him for before, that in past games he has lacked that second notch of physicality where you can tell, and again, I would take it down to freshmen, and many excuses can be applied to that, but I wanted to see him just step it up physically a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive, and I think he did in this game. And at least shows also on his rebounds that he was staying aggressive and staying in there and getting those offensive rebounds. A lot of those offensive rebounds, again, 16 for IU, led to 6 second chance points. Fast breaks, we were 22, bench points 45. That's fantastic. That's obviously boosted by Devontae. Points in the paint 30, points off turnovers 25. Second half, speaking of turnovers, was kind of where it got a little scary in turnovers. We had a stretch there where we weren't making good decisions. Guys were traveling with the ball, got a little too laxed with our aggressiveness, and we had troubles with their zone. Their zone we couldn't quite figure out. Guys flashing to the free throw line we weren't hitting to kind of really try to break that down. But a good effort. And again, Trace needs to continue this aggressiveness. This is something that he can do, and I want to see happening with him moving forward. This game, again, follow up this game, we go to very quick turnaround, 2 days turnaround, and we're up in Michigan. Michigan team that could be tough. They've had their struggles, their ups and downs. Playing them at home, they've been pretty good. New year coach, not a pushover by any sense. Will be a tough game. A team that we need to bring a game like this again. But overall tonight was great. Last night was good to see team get back into it. What that ball going into that circle can do for this team is fantastic. We played together. We played tough. We played strong. The ball went in the basket. Still some misses. Still some tough play, and we saw glimpses of what IU has had troubles with. But again, overall, a pretty good game. Something to be excited for. Something to be thrilled for. I think that'll do it for tonight. Thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. Like, subscribe, all that to this video down here. And go out there, have a good day, be a good Hoosier. Thanks, guys.